Alright, welcome to my video I promised you this weekend, and of course I said I'd be putting an exhaust on. Now unfortunately this is going to be done in two parts, so if you're looking to actually see how the exhaust goes on, we're going to be kind of doing this in a weird way because if you notice we're in a different venue here because I lost my shop for the weekend. I lost the shop because someone lost the fuel pump, and that's kind of more important in a family vehicle to have that working than to have this running, but for all purposes this will work fine anyway. But if you've noticed, you read in the description I said comparison video, and that's because I have a second exhaust. I have a second exhaust, which is the FMF Q4. Now why do I have a Q4 and our Two Brothers together is because I found, because I have a Two Brothers on my other bike, and it is really cool. I like it, but on this bike it's a little loud. It's a bit louder than I expected, and I'm not really as fond of that. I like to have a little bit more less decibels if I can get it, and no matter what I did, it didn't seem to get any better. So I ran it for a little while. Some people recommended that. It did seem to quiet up a little bit, but not enough, and I'm hoping that one will be a little bit better. A few cool facts and stuff I think you're going to need to know about the two in case you were interested in either or and you don't care about how one's louder than another. I don't really know what that one's going to sound like, but I think because I'm going to run them both in the same video, you're going to hear from the same mic, the same, differences. Will not going to be a, everything's going to stay the same in the building that I'm working in, and hopefully it'll give you a little bit of comparison on the same sound, what they're going to sound in comparison to each other. I can't really give you a decibel reading, but you'll get some sort of idea. But in any case, you'll be able to see from maybe a little bit of a view here. Hold on, I'm going to try to get my handy. This just slides right on the stock header. Sorry, I don't have the bolts off here, but it stops right here. There's a little knob nudge I showed in the other part of the video, which will be on later, that this just slides right up to that point, and it doesn't use any silicones or anything. It just slides on very tight, which is a good thing, but you don't have to use any kind of tools. You don't have to use any silicone or any kind of weird stuff to seal it up. No need for a clamp. It's tight. It's not going anywhere. Some people don't like the fact that it's on a clamp. You don't need one. It's bolted here and here, and it's tight. It's not going anywhere. I wouldn't expect it to, and there's no real need for anything to be tight in there at all with a clamp, because it doesn't need a gasket, doesn't need anything, and that means less messes. And the thing about the Two Brothers, as much as it is louder, you may not care about that. So if you're interested in it, it is modular. You take off 4 screws here. This X clamp comes off, and this pulls right off. You'll see when I put the header together in the other video that they're 2 pieces, and you can actually separately, without even having to touch anything in here, get this out of the way. Two Brothers, he made that kind of nice, but the also differences here that this has like a little speed clip here. That holds the mid part of the pipe that is all welded together, very nicely welded, but it does not come apart. And then I have a dent right here. I don't know if that's factory. I don't know why it's there. It's kind of weird. It's not going to affect anything really, but it's just maybe partly how they got that to sit right. They needed to dent it to fit in properly. I bet that's what it is. I just haven't found that out yet. But this is all one piece, except it comes apart here with a couple screws, 4 screws, and this whole kind of can comes off, and it doesn't really, if you I don't know how modular that comes apart as, what, if you pull that out, if everything sticks with it or not. But this just seemed a little bit easier to get to and nicer, because you also can take the can part. It holds everything comes apart on this, where that part, the front part is riveted, and there's a few other things about it that seemed a little bit more, not as accessible. That's all my opinion. Doesn't mean it's really a bad thing. You might not need to mess with it too much, but it is a little bit different. And they say the way that Two Brothers advertises it, it does have a little bit easier repacking abilities, and if you're really going to run the hell out of it, you might need to do that. Now, a few interesting facts, which I'm going to show you right now. This header, mid pipe, is a lot larger than the header itself that's on the bike, and if you notice, it's bigger than the one that comes with the Two Brothers. That is because they're set up for the their Mega Bomb, Power Bomb header pipe, and they have this little adapter that comes with it, which the FMF recommends using silicone, and I don't like that. It's because they didn't even provide it with you. They recommend it in the directions. They say they want it. If you do, they don't say you have to, but they recommend it, and they don't provide it. And I don't like using silicones anyway. High heat silicone is what they ask. They don't even tell you which type or how hot they want it, but they say high temp silicone, and it's not really something I think that I'd want to have to mess, because every time if you ever had to pull it off, do something with it, change it out, especially if you went from track to street, if you're really in a place where you can't have that all the time, you're gonna have to mess with silicones. That kind of sucks, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just a better way they came up with it on the Two Brothers, to just slide on like that. But that doesn't allow you to go onto a Mega Bomb, Power Bomb header pipe very easily, because it's not the same size. You might have to get an adapter. I'm not really sure. I didn't look into it. But honestly, that's set up to go straight onto the header pipe. It is actually a full slip-on system. It just slides on there. And the only thing you got to do is take care of the X-Up Servo cables. I want to give you this comparison of sound. This camera is going to be set up the same for both runs here, and what I want you to do is kind of just hear it in this environment. It's not going to be a real good decibel reading, but it will give you an idea of how it kind of sounds different between the two runnings in the same environment with the same camera and microphone setup, because I don't think there have been two videos that were set up exactly like that, and it's hard to say, but because they weren't mentioned if they were. I just want you to know that these are actually going to be set up in the same place, no changes, and it's just going to be sound of the exhaust. Now let's just run this real quick, and you really hear how the Two Brothers sound in this area, and then you will put the FMF on there, and we'll see if it leaks, for one, and two, how much difference there is in the decibels, which it says it should be quieter. I know it doesn't pick it up on the camera too well, but that has a real deep sound to it, which is really cool. I like it. It's just really a lot louder than I wanted it to be, and I'm hoping that'll just take it down just a few more notches. And 1 decibel is a big number. Look up how much 1 decibel is difference from another decibel, and you'll see exactly what they're talking about when they say, just because it's like 3 or 4 decibels louder, that's actually quite a bit. So just a couple more drops in decibels can make a big difference to how it sounds to you and everybody around you. This is not a holy hell exhaustly major noise coming out of this thing. It is just a lot louder than I wanted it to be, and I'm not going to get rid of it. I'll actually keep it. I might actually throw it back on every once in a while if this goes well. But I don't have to take the covers off to take this off, actually. Everything is accessible now, but you do have to take the covers off, which will be explained a little bit later when I do run the full install of the Two Brothers exhaust system. I don't really think you're going to really need to see too much here, because it's actually pretty simple to do. So I'll just throw, because you're going to have the other video how this goes on. I'm just going to cut it here, take this off, and then I'll show you how the FMF goes on. I already have the servos off, so you're not going to see that in this video anyway, which is the more pain in the ass part, which isn't actually that bad. But we're going to get into that install of just the FMF with minus the servo controls. And I want to show you also one other thing here before I get into that, before I forget, because I'm kind of scatterbrained right now. These are the instructions they come with. Both have sticker kits, which are pretty cool. I don't mind this. The FMF was just send you 4 or 5 stickers in a package. Good size stickers, not bad. I like stickers, all right? I'm sorry. Two Brothers give you this whole sticker set with a bunch of different stuff. The Two Brothers large logo, the smaller skulls, the Black Series stickers, and the smaller ones, and then the Two Brothers Racing, and just the TBR, which no one will know what that means unless they've had an exhaust like that. But it's cool, and they give you a couple different options to put on your bike if you like. They kind of went all out on those sticker packs. Just if you're interested in it, you do get a good sticker pack, which I have to applaud. But FMF does give you a few extra stickers to put on, which is always cool, and I do think that's nice. But if you look at the directions from FMF, pretty plain. They just give you a a texted version, a text version of the install, and Two Brothers put you a pretty good printout of the bike and what you're looking at, and what you should do and what you need to do, and it gives you a little bit of idea how to get there. Do like that a lot. It gives you a breakdown of all the parts you need and how everything comes in the package, what you get, and it gives you all the Allens you need to put the pipe together onto the exhaust, so you don't have to even go fishing around for Allens and stuff, and it gives you everything everything you need there. Kind of a more together kit, I want to say, and as I said, you don't really have many options with this as far as tightness and fitness. It is welded together. Not a bad thing. It's not going to go anywhere. It is pretty tough material. I just don't, you know, I just don't want to miss and not show you everything, that there is differences in how they are. And this is not a bad way to put it together. I mean, I admit, if you screw up this clip can come off. You can find another clip, put any clip on there for any size bolt, really. It has a little bit of room there. And if you strip the other one, that is kind of stuck together with that unit. So, you know, maybe that's a more positive thing. You can actually break this and be able to fit it. And but it just, you know, seemed a little bit more quality the way they did that on this one, because it's all stuck together. And I'll show you that when I get it off there. So we'll be right back. We'll have this exhaust off and we'll show you how this one slips on. All right, we're back. And it's just, that was on there tight. It takes a little while. You got to really wiggle it to get it off. If anybody had trouble saying it didn't fit because it was too small, I don't know if anybody actually said that. It's because it's a real tight fit. That's how it's meant to be. And if you notice, it is a kind of like a captured nut in the back, but it's not really captured. It's part of the bracket here, and it fits beautiful. But it's not a clip. It's all made together. So that is together welded on there. You can't really take it off like this one. Maybe this is a better idea. I don't know, but that just kind of looks, you know, like it's, you know, all one assembly. It doesn't move around or go anywhere. Kind of liked it, but I mean, maybe this is a more better idea for what this is. But I mean, as long as you're not planning on ripping your exhaust off, you have nothing to worry about. But we don't know yet. This, again, I'm not sure how this is going to work. This adapter has two ridges. It's an outer ridge here. It doesn't go in too far. It's got a ridge here which slides all the way in. It slides not excessively tight, but it's probably why they want you to put silicone on it. But there's also two ridges in here. I'm not really sure how that's going to fit in there, but you're just going to slide it till it lines up, I guess. So we're going to try it. I have not test fitted this yet, so you're seeing it as I go. Right on there. Didn't fit anywhere near as tight as the other one, so, but it does go right up to that ridge. It fits right up to the nub exactly, and that's probably why they want silicone on there, because it doesn't fit in any way excessively tight. Hopefully it doesn't leak, but we'll see. I'm sure we're going to have some sort of exhaust leak, because it's just the way it fits. It's just awfully loose. Not awful, sorry. It's just loose. It's not something I was expecting, but that's kind of one thing I wish they did provide you with, because I would have used it, but you didn't give me it, you guys, so I'm kind of winging it here. FMF, learn one thing. Don't forget to give me my hardware and anything else I need. Yeah, I know. I'm complaining about stuff that I should probably have at the shop, but I don't have anything. Everything I've had that looks somewhat close to being what I need is either already solid and not working anymore, or it's not high heat, which obviously you can't use something that's not high heat. I don't even know what, they don't even specify. I mean, maybe I missed it somewhere, but they're not really specifying what they want for high heat. Like, come on, give me a temperature rating here. That'd be nice. I don't like to call people to get information if I have to. Okay, the clip is being a pain. I don't know if I'm lined up 100% of my, it's right there, but it's just a little short. That's weird. They give me this bolt for it. They say this is the one they want. Yeah, what was the one I took off the bike originally? Somewhere. Maybe that's what I got. No, they're about the same. This is the one that came for it's a little bit smaller head, but they're about the same size. So this one had no problem going in. This one I'm having a little trouble getting that to go past the clip here. We gotta force it this way here to get it to grab. Jeez, you're a pain in the butt. It's not really that bad. It's just, there we go. Nope, I didn't grab it there either. Fuck, crying out loud. Yeah, those clips don't give you a 100% perfect size to it. They kind of sit where they want, where that other bolt is pretty well lined up from the start when I got it. Yeah, I can see why the dent's there passes this. There was a dent in the header. I wasn't sure where it went, why it was like that. I thought it was a problem, but it actually fits up there nice because of that. So they did get it right. There does need to be a little indentation there to bypass this little area here. I don't know if I got it in there yet or not. It's not grabbing that clip very well. Alright, the problem is the clip is a lot deeper in there, but let's pull it off, see what we got in here. Jeepers crow. You're going along as I am. Alright, let's see what the hell's going on with this clip. Alright, it's sitting flat there, but this part of the clip isn't sitting flat in here, so I can see why. You know what? That is an awful way to do that. See, the clip, if you can see, sits up a little bit here. It's preventing me from getting in all the way there. So what we're going to try to do is bend that a little bit. I'm going to be right back. I got to get a screwdriver. If you know. All right, I'm back. Let's see here. Here's my screwdriver. Let's see if we can't bend the clip a little bit to be a little bit more flat where we need it. Yeah, it looks a little better. This is, I'm not really sure how this is going to work, but it's not really going to hold it in place as well, but it should be good enough, and it's a little bit flatter. Maybe it'll give me just enough bite. All right. Again, this does fit very loose compared to the Two Brothers, but not wiggle, just like it slides on there without really much effort, which doesn't give me much hope that we're not going to have a leak. But until you try, let's see what happens. If we can actually get the bolt in there, I'll actually be really happy. That's the wrong bolt. You douche. Where did you go? Is this it? No, that's the other one for the other one. Here it is. This is the one. Alright. They fit. FMF did give me the same size 2 bolts, which is kind of nice. So they don't have to keep switching sockets. But they could have made this a little easier. Still giving me troubles here. Let's take it. Let's see how well it actually threads in there. Maybe it's just being a pain. Some of these clips can be a little bit of a pain to get things started in them. Let's kind of crush it a little bit. See if we can't make this a. There we go. It's not hard to get in there. I mean, I think it could have given me something a little bit, you know, it's a little bit nicer to hang on there, the bolt, but nope. I think it's got to go on this side. It has to go on that side. It's not going to fit on the other side properly, I don't think. We'll find out. It doesn't really show you in the directions very well of anything, but considering that that'd be too tucked in there, and it doesn't go around the brake. Yeah, right. I'm talking to myself while I'm trying to get this together. I don't have anything interesting to say. I know this is kind of boring, but this is part of the course here, man. This is the kind of crap you're going to deal with when you try to put this on yourself. There we go. Now it's tight. All right. Not really supposed to get that too tight yet, but since I don't want to lose the friggin' thing, all right, we'll just keep it kind of loose. And then supposed to use the stock bolt over the top minus the washer, it says. So that goes like this, and man, that is pretty thick going through there. It's not really much holding it on there. This is the stock bolt. I don't like what Two Brothers gave me for a system right there. I know I'm comparing 2 totally different companies, but one gave me a lot more hardware that fit really good, and this one was missing some stuff they say I should have to do the install, but yet also kind of gave me some really kind of weird hardware with it. But it's all together. Said make sure things aren't hitting. We're not hitting there, but I don't like how close we are there, but I really can't. They said you might have to adjust a header to move things. Really not liking the idea of having to take my header bolts off, flange bolts, and loosen them up to get that to go where I want it, when this one fit perfect. But it's not touching. It is pretty solid in the end, and it's not going anywhere. It's not vibrating anywhere, so I don't think it's hitting anywhere. At this point I don't care. The bolt's on there and we're attached, so let's fire it up, I guess. little bit more quiet. I don't hear any leaks. See in there, that's where it fits. I'm not hearing anything leaking. It's got a few less decibels to it. It's just that little less pop to it when you hit the throttle, which I think is a little bit nicer. It didn't leak. It fit on there kind of a lot looser than I thought, but it will come off kind of easily though. So that's not a bad thing, but you kind of, unless you start taking everything apart here, 4 bolts around here, and slide half the can off, you really can't just modularly take it apart. That's the only thing that's kind of a little bit hectic. You got to take both parts off, slide the whole thing off, which really isn't that hard. But it's just one of those things where it is a little bit of a, to me, kind of, a little less modular setup, but doesn't really mean it's a real bad thing. But also though, this is set up to take the Mega Bomb, Power Bomb header systems already ready to go supposedly. You don't need to mess around with it. So this exhaust will adapt to the new header if you want to put the other header on there. So that is also a win for FMF, because a lot of people want those extra headers. I don't know what Two Brothers provides for a header, but it won't be as large. It won't be as large a header. This gives it a little bit more open throat breathing ability. That sounded really weird, I know, sorry, but whatever. In any case, but both systems do work. Both systems sound pretty bitchin'. Gives it a little bit more, but this one actually has a little bit more milder sound to it. It's not as just deafening boom to when you hit that throttle, although it is kind of neat. I do like it. I'm not downing Two Brothers at all. I'm a fan. I'm not being biased though. I really wanted FMF to sound good, and it really does sound a little bit better, a little bit quieter, not as obnoxious, and as I know it's really hard probably in the video to hear it 100%, but it really does a number of decibels lower and less piercing noise, so it just sounds really bad, but not, badass I should say, but not without being a complete obnoxious noise, which a little bit on that side was the Two Brothers, and it just was way more open. If you can tell on the end of this exhaust here, I mean, I even had the silencer in there. That is one open exhaust right there. I mean, that is boom. It's even if you didn't have the silencer, and it's even that much larger, and it's just almost like having a wide open exhaust. All right, in any case, we're all set, we're ready to go. It sounds good, no leaks. I'm very happy with FMF, with the sound. The quality of some of the parts, then the fact they didn't give you that extra piece of hardware. I think it should have an extra piece of hardware up top, a little bit longer bolt. I could have put the Two Brothers bolt in there, but I didn't. I want to keep those parts with them and just pretty much put it together as FMF gave it to me. It's not that bad at all, though. It does fit. You're gonna have to check your hardware when you're done riding for a while to make sure nothing loosened up, but it all fit together. I didn't have to mess with the header pipe like it said it might. I didn't have to use silicone like they said that they recommended. They didn't provide, by the way. And now we're pretty much all stuck together without a problem, and it sounds good, really like that, without the real big boom that came out of the Two Brothers, which was just a little bit too much for me. If you really like noise and sound and plan on keeping the stock header, Two Brothers will work for you. If you plan on doing a power bomb system, you're gonna need an FMF. It comes with everything. It's set ready to go. I don't know what adapters you could possibly put on for the Two Brothers system, or if they come up with their own header system, but everything kind of set up for FMF. And if you really want a full system, they do provide it for you, and that is a really good thing. This is a lot larger exhaust, which I think helps quiet it down a little bit, gives it some expansion of the gases. If you notice, this is a little shorter than this, but they both fit nice. They both fit well. You're not going to have any heat shield, so your passenger's probably going to die. So just remember that, maybe hang some chicken off the side, cook it, because that's probably all it's good for on the right side of the bike now. But you should be good riding it. No, I had no problems when I was riding with the Two Brothers. I have no doubt I'll be fine with them FMF, but it sounds exactly what I was looking for, and kind of got to give them props for that. They're both made in America. And gotta love that. You guys, I'm gonna cut again to the other video and show you how the X-Up system comes out. Very simple to do. I'll cut the other video of the Two Brothers going on there. It's not really necessary to show everything in that video, but we'll cut to that right now, and I'll see you right back in a moment. Alright, we got the old exhaust out. It was just a couple bolts, no big deal getting that apart. Pretty much all you're going to do is get this cables off, which is tied into the valve here. You just loosen them up off the bracket here with these two nuts right here. Just loosen them up here, and just start unthreading these a little bit, and it'll get long enough, and you just pop them right off. It's actually very simple to do. I thought it was going to be a lot tougher, but no big deal. But alright, this is the servo for the exhaust. This is the cover. It tells you to remove it, so we're going to do that. So, these annoying things that they are. Careful that wire. I believe that's important. They say you might have to remove it to get the cables off. Make it easier, but if you totally take it out, it'll throw a code in your system, which you don't want to have happen. I'm not really sure how hard it is actually to get this out of here, but we'll find out now. Alright. Well, the cables are easy now that they're not attached on that side. That's a plus. This isn't going to do jack squat for the exhaust. I guess it doesn't really matter. It just does a thing. It doesn't have any sensors saying it's doing anything. It just does its thing, apparently. So it shouldn't throw a code. Then if you take it off, it's more or less, I believe, a system in itself that it just operates the exhaust valve. That's all. Which I find probably with that in there, it's another thing that could possibly go wrong if you're out in the trails. Honestly, I've had enough with electronics and things. I know this is injected, which is nice, but there's always a certain amount of electronics that bug me in a system. Having so much stuff, I mean, you have to, I mean, my buddy, he had a battery that died on his bike, and you can't just push start a bike like this. It's injected, so that's a problem. Alright, let's see here. What else do we need to do here to get these out of here? They're pretty stuck in there. Let's see here. How are they in there? Okay, just push them out. Oh, that was easy enough. Alright. My method of removal was simple enough, I guess. Alright, I don't know if they're attached anywhere else in here, but they just go through this back fender, mud flap here. I kind of not sure if they're going to come peacefully. Oh, you are going to be bitches. Yeah, you know what? It might actually be easy to do this before you put the exhaust all the way on. There's apparently stuff in here that's going to really make this difficult. Give me the flashlight. Alright, so now these cables come off pretty easily, but they do get caught behind here, which is a pain in the butt. I don't know what's actually held on to, but I see. Oh boy. This is a little spot of plastic that these run in, and they don't really hold them in there, but it looks like it just kind of, with that capture nut, makes it real pain in the butt to get out of there. There we go. Just kind of, we got to work it, and same with this one. It's going to be a pain. It's actually, as I said, easier probably to do this first than put the exhaust on, and that's caught back there again. Oh, you are such a pain. There we go, that one came out easier. Alright, those are two cables. Remember, they are color-coded. Silver and black. The black one was on the outside. Silver was on the inside. I'll probably have to look at your manual if you ever wanted to put those back in. We're going to keep those. safe, and put that somewhere actually safe because I don't want to lose it. Have anything happen to it, just, you know, it's brand new. It looks muddy, but it's actually brand new. We had a little fun out back earlier. Now you just put this cover back and you should be all set. I didn't disconnect any electrical, even though it says to take it out. I did not need to do that. So it was actually very easy enough to not mess around with that. Just get your cover back on there, and it's a Phillips screw. Nothing too fancy about that. It's not really even waterproof for the most part. It just needs to be on there. Alright, we'll probably cut it here and get back to the fun stuff of hearing how it sounds. Hopefully we don't have any leaks, which I don't think we will, but we got to tighten up the exhaust. Don't forget to tighten up those clamp bolts once you get everything in place, because that's kind of important. So we'll get to that in a minute. Alright, we got everything tightened up now. I want to test it before we obviously put all the plastics back on, but mostly there's nothing really that I think would be even an issue if you did put the plastics on now, but just, you know, before we put everything back together, I like to test everything, but it looks good. No big issues getting on there. I think it looks great, and let's give it a quick test here. Oh, that's loud. A lot louder than the original. We're going to put that silencer in next just to get a little bit better sound deadening out of it, because that is really loud. But we're also inside, but that was pretty cool. Alright, now I got the P1X, which is not recommended, by the way, with the spark arrestor, but I did it anyways. You can't use the gasket, but it didn't seem to make a damn bit of difference. But you can see the spark arrestor is in there. And this doesn't fit as tight, but it does fit tight enough where it didn't seem to be leaking at all. I gave it a test already, and you can see it does make a difference noticeably. And hopefully that won't be too crazy once I get it outside. It is echoing in the building here, but not bad at all. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. Hopefully this gives you a little insight into the two different systems and what you'd be getting into, so you don't buy something by accident and end up having a problem. I'm definitely keeping the Two Brothers. I really do like it. Maybe I'll throw it on every once in a while and rip it up with some noise. You know, gotta sound good for those Harleys. my Harley Yamason. Basically, this is a really simple install right here. If you have it already set up for exhaust, it didn't take me long other than try to make the video to put that on there. So, I mean, if this gives you some insight into maybe what you might be looking into for an exhaust, stock header works perfect with the Two Brothers. You want to change the whole header system, probably want to go with an FMF. They have everything you need, especially if you're going with a power, FMF power commander, whatever the hell they call it. But it's going to be your decision to do whatever you want with it, but it's basically going to fit up with that perfectly, at least as far as I can tell. That's what they set this up for. You will take that adapter out of that exhaust and put your, you know, power bomb in there and header on there, and it'll fit up right with it just as it is, and you won't have to deal with any other problems like you would with this, which I think you might need adapters. I don't even know if it comes with adapters for that. I don't know what you would even do to get that to fit. I didn't even look into that. So if you have a Two Brothers, you're probably going to be stuck with the stock header or their system if they have one. I didn't look for that. They probably do have their own header system, but then you're going to have to find out their own programs, which if you're planning on doing a programmer and the whole system, FMF covers you on that, and it does work. It sounds better, in my opinion, for what I want. And that is cool for me, and that means I didn't waste my money buying the FMF. But our Two Brothers is definitely a lot more ear piercing. It's so much larger in the end here, and it just throws out almost like an open head exhaust feel to it, honestly. But this gives it just a little bit more milder sound to it, and that's what I was looking for, and I'm very happy with that. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps you out, and keep the wheels turning, and please hopefully come back and see another video of mine when I figure out how to get that tail apart and what I want, because that'll be the next project. All right, see you next time.